Are you helping Daddy? Morning there, this is Andrew with craftybeetroot.com. It's 5:30 here in the morning and I've set myself a day challenge. So what we're going to try and do today is do a day build of Dumbledore's wand. With the release of the Fantastic Beasts 2 trailer, there's some information that's come out about Dumbledore's wand before the Elder Wand. So I'm up before the family, trying to sneak in some extra building before daylight. So we're going to start with the actual wand. So the only real good reference we have was released in a tweet. It was actually released a while ago, but with some of the information we get from the latest trailer, a little bit more certain that this is Dumbledore. So that's the assumption I'm making, and that's what we're going to go with. Just going to copy this into Inkscape. And we're going to go ahead and trace this out so we can print it off to scale and use that as our template. So there's a lot of theories going on about the history of this wand, what does it actually look like, and why does it look similar to the Elder Wand, even if it is kind of the inverse. So that's kind of what I'm using as my reference when I don't really have any reference anymore. And you might have noticed that this is fairly rough to start off with. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get the overall shape to where I want it. And then I will come back in and basically create the final design. And there we have it. So we've gone from just a straight picture to a plan. Now I know it's not perfect and some of this end here might change a little bit, but this is really just enough to get the overall dimensions so that I can, when I'm working with the material, I've got a better reference than just going off a picture. So apparently this little man wants to join the party, so we're going to have to put building on hold, but that's why we're up early, so we could get in as much time as we can. So let's go ahead and print this off, get it to the right size. We're going to base this off the Elder one. I believe that's 14.5 inches, so we'll make this probably like 14.25, but I will double check that before I print that off. So what we're going to do is we're going to utilize a feature in PDF printer which allows us to do poster. Now I've sized this so it was half the size that it needed to be, so when I print it out I can get it on 3 pages. So quick measurement check, we're in that 14 range with my little helper here. So we're going to go ahead and try and get that stuck together. You're so helpful, you know. Alright, now that we have our pattern all set up, we can go ahead and select the wood. So I've got a bit of poplar here, another piece of pine. Because of this being what basically looks like a black gloss finish, really doesn't matter. I'm just going to use wood because I found I really enjoyed working with it when I was making Newt's wand. Go ahead and check out the video, link in the description. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to just use this little piece here as it's already the size. Biggest issue here is this end bead bit here. It's not going to quite be big enough on either side. So I think what I'm going to do is just chop that off and create a separate part to put on the end there. So I guess what we need to do first is just get this down to the general shape and size. So then we can go ahead and start forming it. So the next phase, what we're going to do is we're going to use the plane and just take these corners off and get this to a rough circular shape. and then we can go ahead and start tuning in the details. From time to time you'll want some help from some power tools, just to kind of speed up the process and take that down just a little bit quicker. Doing a project like this, it's all about checking your reference. So look here, we're pretty good. So now what we can do is we can go in and figure out where we're going to put some of our details. Obviously the details will become very important here. So now that we kind of have the rough shape, we're going to go in with a good old Dremel and kind of start putting in the details. Alrighty, now we're just in the finishing stretches. We're just cleaning up all of the joints and just getting rid of a lot of the work marks. We're going to work our way through the grits of sandpaper. So in these little bits, middle bits here, it's a little bit dinged up. So I'm going to use a sharpening stone, just to kind of add a little bit of damage in there. And there we go. It is not perfect, but I think it's actually going to work quite well. So now that we've got the base of the wand finished, we need to now color it a black. I don't have any black stain, so I'm going to go ahead and use some black paint, just dilute it down and basically try and stain this as dark as I can. Obviously I'm trying to get the time, obviously I'm trying to get this done on the clock, so we'll see how we go. And then while this is drying, we'll go ahead and figure out the top bead section, which is presenting its own problems. I'll wait for that to dry and add multiple layers. I'm going to work on the top bead. Unfortunately I don't have any roundness available. I'm going to have to make this from scratch. Alright, so just about to put the finishing touches on the top piece. Still not sure if it's just a kind of marbled look or it's actually got indented. I'm kind of just assuming it's indented because that's easier for me to copy. So just using a variety of files, just kind of gone in there and because of the marbled effect, I'm actually going to use some coffee and just add that in there to get that nice colouring like that. I'm just going to get that to dry and then we'll go ahead and start putting it all together. One of the last things we need to do before we join it is we need to do the brass ring. Now there's multiple ways we could do this, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use some gold embossing powder, typically used in cards and other things. We're going to use some ink pad and we're going to put it on there and then we're going to heat it up and it'll melt. Hopefully it'll look like brass. Now in the reference there's a little bit of detail that I might eventually go back in and kind of scribe in, but for tonight I'm going to just do this, see how it worked out, and go ahead and glue it together and finish it off. So let's get to it. And as you can see, the beauty of using a gold ink pad is that anything that the gold embossing powder doesn't stick to, it doesn't matter, because it'll be already gold. So here we have the powder, and now it's time for some magic. We're almost at the end here. We've got the main part of the wand and the end, and we're just going to hot glue that on for now because I don't have any other glue available right now. Eventually I'd like to pin that maybe or do something, but hot glue will do for now. And with that, we are actually finished. There's just one more thing I need to do. And here it is. All finished, and most importantly, oh yeah, the full hour to go, we have completed what we believe to be Dumbledore's original wand. For more builds like this, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and check out our website at www.craftybeetroot.com.